This video is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is Loso. In case you didn't know so, welcome back to another video. Thank you very much, like always, for joining us for another video. On this video, we're gonna take it back to the old school, because you know I'm an old fool.
We're not too old for this shit. We're not too old for this shit. Say it like you believe it. We're not too old for this shit.
So, make sure to comment down below what videos you actually want me to react to, because here we're gonna actually be reacting to the old school videos that I used to check out. We're gonna check out cartoons, the series that I grew up with, the movies, and everything in between, the guys that I grew up with watching and things like that. So make sure to comment down below what series you grew up with, what cartoon you grew up with, and maybe we can actually react to them. So make sure to comment, like, share, make sure to subscribe, and please do me a favor, hit that notification bell so you actually can get notified every time we drop the new video. And also on the next video after this one, we're gonna do the end of the month. So make sure to comment down below what movies you're gonna go check out in September, and then we can check them out. All right, so holla at your boy. So to start, we're gonna check out the cartoons that I actually grew up with back way back in the 80s.
Why do old people always have to ruin the fun?
In the 1900s. That sounds so old. So you can check out what I actually grew up with watching and things like that. So the first video we're gonna be checking out, obviously, the Super Friends. I grew up watching Super Friends. I mean, what little boy didn't grow up watching Super Friends? Especially in the 80s and 90s. So let's check out the Super Friends. Holla at your boy.
Whoop, whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Friends. This is what I actually grew up watching when I was a kid. This, you gotta understand, this was like when I was probably like 8 years old,
powerful forces of good ever assembled.
maybe 7. The original actual Super Friends.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Look at the old school Batmobile
Wonder Woman.
with the invisible jet.
Aquaman.
Dude, this is so old.
And the Wonder Twins, Zan and Jaina, with their space monkey, Gleek.
Wonder
Dedicated
Twins,
to truth,
activate.
justice and peace for all mankind.
So, guys, the Super Friends. That's what I actually grew up watching. Well, one of the cartoons that I grew up watching with the original Super Friends, which was Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Wonder Twins. And obviously Blink, the little monkey. But what the ones that I actually used to be more interested in, it was actually the Wonder Twins, because they can actually convert into whatever they actually wanted. So for example, one can turn into water and the other one can turn into a bucket. Crazy things like that. So that was the Super Friends, which was before the Justice League. The Justice League already had, you know, like Green Lantern and all those other ones, Cyborg and things like that. So anyways, I digress. The next cartoon I actually grew up watching was the G.I. Joes. So let's check it out. G.I. Joes. Go Joes! Ladies and gentlemen, the G.I. Joes.
For freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra.
Yeah, okay, so you gotta understand, like every kid used to, like back in the 80s, we used to like these. But the original ones, you know, like Duke, Cobra Commander, Destro, Sergeant Slaughter. No Snake Eyes yet. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow actually came in later. The Baroness. Yeah, Cobra Commander, the original Cobra Commander. The twins, that's right. I forgot about the twins. Sergeant Slaughter. So, what kid in the 80s didn't play like cowboys and Indians and soldiers? You know, I remember growing up in my neighborhood with like all my friends, and we actually used to go from like front yard to front yard, just like jumping over fences and things like that. And just like, we used to be crazy when we were kids. Not like nowadays. Back in the days, our parents used to call us at 10 at night. Yo, Carlos, come on in. My mom used to get mad. It just all like, I don't want to be like those other parents calling you and screaming at you. Come on in. I want you in the house at 10 o'clock.
So if you could be here around 9, that would be great.
We used to be like all over the neighborhood. We used to be crazy kids. Nowadays, you have people with your phones, which I appreciate because you can actually watch all the videos that we actually do on actual phones. So please continue on watching your phones. You gotta understand, in the 80s, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have Instagram.
God, you are aging so rapidly.
So what else are you gonna do? You literally go out and play. So that's what we did. We were very social kids. Ask your parents. If you're underage, ask your parents. We used to actually go out and play around, and our parents used to get mad at us because we used to come all sweaty and it's just all like all stinky, just all like, yo, get in the shower. So anyways, let's continue on. The series that I actually used to watch once I actually got a little bit older, probably 10 years old, by the way, it was the A-Team, the original A-Team, not the new A-Team that came out in like the 2020s. Or, I mean, it was good, but we actually grew up with the original A-Team. So let's check it out. Holla at your boy. Ladies and gentlemen,
10 years ago, a crack commando
the
was sent to
A-Team.
prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground.
This is what I
Today,
used to
still
watch
wanted by
when
the
I
government,
was
they
growing
survive
up.
as soldiers of
You gotta
fortune.
understand,
If you
this
have a
is like
problem, if no one else can
88.
help, and if you can find them, Maybe you can hire
1988 or 1988. So we got Colonel Hannibal Smith. There we go. The Colonel Hannibal. There we go. Hannibal Smith. And we got Captain Face. He was the cool one that all the ladies like. So she was the one that actually got everything for them. Then we got Mad Dog Murdoch. Then Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. B.A. Baracus. This is what we actually grew up watching. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So what do you guys think? That was the original A-Team with Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. We had the Face. We got Colonel Hannibal Smith. And then Mad Dog Murdoch. He's the one that actually like flew everything and drove everything pretty much. But that's the type of things that we actually grew up, because it just thought like once we actually were outside, we actually were playing all those games. So it just thought like I said earlier as well, like we grew up playing. We didn't even started playing Dungeons and Dragons until like mid 90s. So this is all 80s when I actually grew up. So like my early teens, my beginning of my teens, like from 8 years old until like 13, something like that, like the 80s. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am old, even though I keep myself young.
It's plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
But anyways, that's for another story. So now we get into, what are we getting into? Now we get into the movies that I actually used to watch. So the movie that actually came out in the 80s and we used to love was the Goonies. You know, you're gonna see a lot of people starting in the 80s, like Corey Feldman. You remember Sam from The Lord of the Rings? Sam is Sean Astin, which in the Goonies he's Mikey. Then you got Josh Brolin. I mean, Josh Brolin has been in everything pretty much. But let's check it out. The Goonies. Ladies and gentlemen, The Goonies.
Steven Spielberg presents.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg. One of his first movies. So look, that's Sam when he was like younger.
Meet Mikey.
Mikey.
Brand.
See? Josh Brolin. And then Corey Feldman. Mouth.
Stephanie. Data. And Chunk.
Chunk.
They call themselves the Goonies.
The Goonies.
They've stumbled onto a legend.
The Goonies never say die.
Chunk, I hope that was your stomach. No.
That's Sloth.
That's the it. Sounds like calm.
Yeah, that's Sloth.
Discover what they uncover.
And then they're being followed by the Fratellis.
Diamonds? The lost map.
Mama Fratelli and the Fratelli brothers.
Oh, this is the start of the tunnel.
The secret caves.
Hey, Mikey, you can hear me. Run! Run! They're coming
Run! Yeah, the Fratellis.
The hidden clues. The treacherous
Dude,
traps.
all the things that we used to watch. So cool.
I'm at the Lighthouse Lounge, and I want to report a murder.
Just like that last prank about all those little creatures that multiply when you throw water on them.
The Gremlins. Which, by the way, it was directed by Steven Spielberg as well.
Join the adventure as Steven Spielberg presents
The Goonies.
A Richard Donner film.
Okay. So you gotta understand, again, we didn't have cell phones back in the 80s. So as soon as we saw a movie, for example, The Goonies, we were actually going out and going and doing scavenger hunts, like going house to house, like asking for things and things like that. So it, by the way, in the 80s is where a lot of like the stars that you actually watch now, like for example, Josh Brolin, which everybody knows from the Avengers. He's Thanos or Thanos. Sean Astin, Mikey. He actually, everybody knows him as, Sam from The Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you guys were young enough, but then there's Corey Feldman as well. There's a lot of movies that he was in, like for example, The Lost Boys. We used to love The Lost Boys, which is a vampire movie. It was so cool. And then the Fratellis. So we used to love action adventure movies when we were growing up in the 80s. And then right after we were watching it, we would literally go and do scavenger hunts. And then we have a family ranch up in northern Arizona, in Sedona to be exact, and we were just going over there and just go crazy over there and have adventures. And dude, our childhood was pretty cool. Again, we didn't have cell phones, so we actually had to have, other means of fun. So we got crazy adventures. But anyways, now, the sports that we used to do back in the 80s. I don't know if you guys are old enough, but we used to skate. And actually, we used to watch as well and go to different skate parks and things like that. But we started watching, and we were literally hanging out with the Bones Brigades, which we're gonna go check out the video. The Bones Brigade, Powell Peralta Bones Brigade, holla at your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bones Brigades. You gotta understand, this was after the Z-Boys. The Z-Boys was 70s, 60s, but this is the Bones Brigades.
How in the world could this guy be the world champion and just walk away from it?
Look at how young Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen, dude.
I was miserable at everything I tried to do. I rode a bike, tried to do a wheelie, the front wheel fell
Lance
off,
Mountain.
Skateboarding, it was the first time I was good at something.
Yeah, this is the original
Not only
punk
were they
rock.
unknown, they were all picked as a very young crew.
Steve Caballero, Tommy Guerrero.
Become rich or famous if you were good at skateboarding.
So
no one did.
see,
No matter
that's
how
how
good you
we
were.
used to be. It just so like we used to hang out all the time.
I just remember looking at my arms
Yeah.
with goosebumps, and I just witnessed history.
It was the moment where skateboarding became skateboarding.
Lance
just
Mountain,
got bigger and bigger.
Mike
Every time I
McGill.
came out of jail, I was pushing a shopping cart. Hawk was on a Slurpee cup.
I'm here in representation
Rodney
of thousands
Mullen.
of other kids who worship those guys as well, and whose lives that those guys changed.
When I started skating, it gave me a sense of identity. It gave me a sense of self-confidence. It gave me a purpose.
Teachers would reach out. Is he autistic? Or I don't know. Skateboarding.
We used
what
to
it
have fun
represented,
back in the
to
80s,
create, to
guys.
express myself. It became my voice.
Yeah.
I just look back at my life and I feel so blessed
Of course.
to be a part of this whole scene.
Steve Caballero. That's who I actually grew up watching. And that was one of like the first sports that we actually got in before it was actually a sport. I mean, you gotta understand, it just all like it's just a deck and some wheels. So we used to like rip it up and it just all like, for example, I don't have hair right now. I don't have a lot of hair, but if you actually see a picture of me back in the 80s, it just all like in the early 90s, it just all like I had hair. And that's how we used to dress, because dude, we used to skate everywhere, but we used to hang out. I mean, we hung out with the Powell Peralta crew, with the Bones Brigades, the original Bones Brigade, which is like Tony Hawk, Steve Caballero, Mike McGill, Lance Mountain, Tommy Guerrero. And then afterwards they actually got Rodney Mullen, which, as you saw, it just saw like he did like all the street. So then after that, Powell Peralta got Mike Valeli, or Valeli. So he doesn't like the way that people mention his last name, because not a lot of people know how to pronounce his last name. Valeli. Valeli. So anyways, that's what we actually grew up watching and hanging out with. We used to go out to like competitions, skateboard competitions, and hang out with like all those guys, with Tony Hawk before, you know, everybody knew him, Steve Caballero. My first skateboard was a Powell Peralta Steve Caballero Dragon skateboard. And then my second board was a Lance Mountain. So, I mean, that's what we actually grew up checking out before we actually got into sports. Now, we actually are getting to the age that I actually started playing sports. So, let's check out what I used to actually watch and the athlete that I used to watch that everybody knows right now. So let's check out who I'm talking about. Holla at your boy. The athlete that I grew up watching. 1986, baby. Everybody used to want to be like Mike. This is why. So That's what I grew up watching. And this is the reason that I actually went on to play high school basketball, university basketball before I injured myself. Duh. But this is what everybody wanted to be growing up. Air Jordan. Even today, the GOAT. Dude, tongue out. Boom! So, those are the things that I grew up watching and admiring and hanging out and wanted to be like. So, I started watching cartoons with the Super Friends. Then I went on to watching G.I. Joes. Then I actually got a little bit older and started watching the A-Team. And then that's when I started watching movies as well, which my favorite movie is the Goonies. Because Goonies never say die. And then the people that I used to hang out with and go and see on skateboard demos and things like that, because yes, I used to skate. I did used to skate. So as you can see in the picture there, and I do have the trophies in the background back there. In the background back there, you can actually see the trophies that I won, you know, but I never like was a big time skater. Never like did it for like the competition or, you know, to like make money. Just thought like it was just something fun to do. So we all got trophies. Back in the day, we all got trophies. Participation trophies, we call them. So those are all the people that we grew up checking out and, you know, admiring and hanging out with. And then obviously we grew up watching His Airness, the GOAT, Mr. Jordan. So why don't we just cut to the ending? So ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Comment down below what you actually grew up watching. The series, the cartoons, the movies, the athletes you grew up wanting to be like and watch, what sports you actually wanted to play when you were growing up. So comment down below and then we can actually react to them. I do read all the comments, so please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can actually check out and get all the notifications so we can continue on making all these videos and reacting to pretty much everything there is out there. So now you know how I feel, what I feel growing up watching all those things and hanging out with all these people.
Oh yeah, I'm a weirdo. People looking at me crazy, I don't care though. I'm a weirdo, weirdo.
And it trying to emulate all these people as well. So don't forget to join us on the next video because we're gonna do our end of the month trailer review reaction. So make sure to comment down below what movies you are gonna go watch and what movies you expect to watch in September. So guys, holla at your boy. Peace.
Yeah.